Hi, I'm Lu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Grow up as a single child in my family, I'm alone all the time. In order to raise me, my parents had to work very hard with frequent night shifts. I didn't have any pet around, so when there was only me being left in an empty house, I could only play with and talk to myself. Honestly, I enjoy it most of the time, but occasionally I felt lonely. The feeling of loneliness became intenser when I was in a depressed state. After went through the darkest period of my life, I kept asking myself why I didn't enjoy my solitude like before, why I would feel lonely even surrounded by people, and why this all happened to me. As a matter of fact, being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. Someone can be filled with bliss by himself and may hate every second being surrounded even by his friends. Alone is a physical state of not being with another individual, might it be human or animal. It is normal to enjoy spending time alone on occasion. Alone time might help us relax and recharge. People have different needs for a long time, but when we are enjoying ourselves, we most likely don't feel being isolated in a negative way or crave contact with others. Lonely is a psychological state by a distressing experience occurring when one's social relationships are perceived less in quantity and quality than desired, which is the social contact we have at a given time does not fulfill us. A lack of meaningful connections contributes to lonely, which is why we can feel it even if we have a wide social network. Everybody feels lonely from time to time. Loneliness is a purely subjective individual experience. It can be brief and superficial, or it can be acute and severe. We might feel it when there is no one to talk to, when we change jobs, when we move to a new city, when we live alone for the first time, when we end a relationship, or when we suffer a loss of a relative or a dear friend. Transient loneliness is so common. In fact, most of us treat it as a part of life. If the feeling of loneliness are experienced over a long period of time, then it becomes chronic loneliness. In that state, we might be sad, empty, and foggy. We might have insomnia or other sleeping issues. We might have decreased energy or appetite. We might feel body aches or pains more often, and we might have the feeling of hopelessness, restlessness, and worthlessness with us day in and day out. Studies have shown that over the last few decades, the occasional feeling of loneliness has become chronic for millions. So why? Why this happen? Why do we all feel lonely in this crowded world? Well, the answer is simple, because loneliness is a bodily function, just like hunger. Hunger makes us pay attention to our physical needs, while loneliness makes us pay attention to our social needs. Millions of years ago, social needs was a great indicator of how likely we were to survive. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors cannot have enough food, stay safe and warm, or have or care offspring when they were alone. If they were being kicked out of the tribe, that inevitably meant death. So the body made an evolutionary adaptation to these needs by the feeling of loneliness, just like a sort of early warning system to make sure that we stop the behavior which will isolate us from the community and help us maintain the social bonds between each other. So it is easy to say that no matter who we are, nothing can protect us against loneliness because it's part of our biology and it's in our DNA. This mechanism worked well and kept us connected for most of our human history until the modern world. The 21st century has brought us many things, good or bad. The main thing it has given is the possibility to remotely connect it and cultivate social connections in the absence of physical proximity. Today, we move vast distance from where we grow. We might fewer people in person, and we might less often than in the past. But our bodies and minds are fundamentally the same as they were 15,000 years ago, and we are inherently meant to be with each other. Now we're living in the most connected time of human history, yet an unprecedented number of us feel isolated. Studies have shown that not only loneliness is the social pain to ourselves, but the stress comes from it is among the most unhealthy things we can experience as humans. It can make us age quicker, make our immune systems weaker, make cognitive decline faster, make cardiovascular issues emerge. It may lead to anxiety and depression or other chronic health problems, and it may lead to early death. Loneliness is twice as deadly as obesity and as deadly as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. The most dangerous thing about it is that once it becomes chronic, it can be self-sustaining. When we are experiencing chronic loneliness, our brains enters the fight or flight mode. It seeks normality by a self-preservation state, and it starts to see danger and hostility everywhere. Simply put, loneliness makes us assume the worst about others' intentions. So how can we solve this? How can we not be trapped in that state? Well, the first thing we can do is to recognize it. Usually it is something like this. An initial feeling of isolation leads to the feeling of tension or sadness, which makes us focus selectively on the negative interactions. This would make our thoughts more negative, which would change our behaviors. Then we begin to avoid social connections, which leads to more feelings of isolation, and it will become more severe and harder to escape. We may not answer the phone, may sit far away from people, may decline invitations, and most of all, we're not willing to admit that we're lonely. But what we really got to do at this very moment is purely accept, because loneliness is a totally normal feeling, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. Literally, everybody feels lonely at some point in their life, and we are absolutely not crazy machines, but human beings with natural needs. And then we should be aware of what we focus our attention on, as well as what are we thinking and doing. The minds are always telling stories. We should look in the internal world together with the thoughts and behaviors. Finally, if we cannot solve this problem by ourselves, definitely reach out and get professional help, because health professionals can help us uncover the causes of the symptoms and access potentially helpful resources. Loneliness deserves more attention no matter how we look at it. Might it be an individual problem or a public health crisis? As one of the beings in this world, we got what we need from each other. Isolation and loneliness often go hand in hand. Since the pandemic started, we were also been through the social recession. It's not a good feel when facing this, but we could use the modern technologies have given us in a good way. Conversation and communication tools have become easier to use than ever before. We could see each other simply by tapping the phone with our fingertips. So come on and reach out to someone. Write to a friend, call a family member. Let them know that we love them and value them, and we are all in this together. Oh, also remember, don't leave the youngest and the oldest behind. What's more important is that we should learn to observe ourselves mindfully. Make time for building the connections our minds and our souls. Learn to see things as they truly are and practice the mind of being the moment and enjoy the moment, even if we are physically solitude. Modern loneliness, we're never alone but always depressed. It's our time to change this little by little. Thank you for watching this, and may you be happy, healthy, and at peace.